Hello, hello, and welcome to the Sunday Sketch, where I, sketch stuff on a Sunday. It's pretty self-explanatory, really. So today I wanted to work on a technique that I haven't quite mastered yet. It's some stuff that I was going to put up on my Patreon eventually, but then I ended up losing the files. It's just things I've been working on. Anyway, there's this technique, and I haven't been able to find the information on how they do it, but I'll show you on screen exactly what I'm trying to do, and what I haven't been able to do yet. Okay, so check this out. This is a magic card, actually one of my favorites, called Perplexing Chimera. And as you can see, they do this crazy alpha layer stuff. I'm pretty sure it's alpha layer stuff, if not just straight up painted on there, with like a night sky sort of effect in a lot of these shadowy spots, and also in its main. It is really just breathtaking. So what I've been trying to do is figure out how I can replicate that sort of effect, right? So one thing I've tried is to, well, the first thing I tried, which I feel like doesn't really work as well as I want, is just to take a stock photo of the sky and paint over it. So like that. And then I would just paint over the top of it and try to blend some stuff together, right? And I feel like that hasn't quite worked. The card itself is actually pretty awesome. What it does, for those of you who are into card games and stuff, is whenever your opponent plays a card, you can give them Perplexing Chimera and you get their card instead. So it's actually I find it to be a lot of fun. So anyway, one thing I've been trying is using this transparency brush and like do something like that. See, but I feel like that doesn't quite get there. And again, I haven't been able to find any kind of tutorial things on it. So I feel like maybe the key is learning how to actually paint a night sky. Which is going to be a challenge in and of itself. Welcome to the stream. I am going to be trying to paint the night sky, I think, because I want to make something cool like this. It's a giant monster. Like look how tiny these people are next to it. This is a giant freaking push me pull you Dr. Dolittle chimera monster made of the night sky. I mean, how cool is that? So anyway, that's what I've been trying to do for the past like whole week, and I haven't gotten anywhere. So I'm gonna just try and paint a night sky now, and we'll see if I get anywhere on that end, because if I can do that, then maybe I can just paint the night sky directly into whatever whatever else I'm painting. I don't know. But we're just gonna paint a starry sky. So first thing is I want to set up my horizon. And the sky actually can have a lot of different colors in it. And also, it depends on what kind of effect you're going for, right? So, like, I've painted, if you guys have seen on my website, I did a desert scene uh, on my website gallery thing. And that actually has a yellow sky, which is not generally a color that the sky is, but it just works with the painting better. So I'm actually going to use purple at my horizon line. Because you can actually get a surprising amount of stuff done with colors that you don't think belong. And then I'm going to take a dark blue, well, a little bit lighter than the purple, actually. And then what I like to do is just kind of dig in with this like U shape or curve, right? And then since I'm using a watercolor brush, I can blend it in nicely. And so ideally only the ground is actually going to be black. It actually looks kind of nice. Okay. So now I have that set up. I got to figure out how I'm going to make some stars on here. And for that, of course, got to use your reference. So I'm just going to take some, like a reference picture. Let's see if I can get a good night sky photo. There we go. And let's take a look at that. That actually looks like it's soon after sunset, too. I might build up my horizon line a little bit more. But... oh, that opened a new tab. Ew. Honestly, it just looks like random dots. Random, like, white points. Which, I guess, in reality, are kind of all stars are. So let's give it a shot. I'm gonna take my spray brush. Oh, that's not too hard. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. It's still a little early, so I have the sniffles. So what I did was I just took a droplet brush on my spray brush, and I'm just going through here. Actually turned out pretty good. That's a lot of stars, though. Okay, so now I want to make some stars, or some areas seem more starry than others, right? So, because that's how like galaxies and stuff work. And I gotta put a little bit more color into it too. Okay, so gonna make a new layer, and this is gonna be, I think, an overlay. And we're gonna try and put some more color over the top of this. Not that. Yeah, definitely not that. Maybe we'll try some yellow. Comes out kind of orangey looking. Fade that out a little. No, it needs to be brighter. Let's go back to that pink. That's not bad. Just gotta fade it out a little bit. How's it look on your guys' end? I know things are a little bit subtle. Okay, we're gonna brighten this whole thing up. Yeah. 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 Just way more. Awesome. Okay, let's see what we're doing now. No, okay. Let's see. What now? What now? I guess we add kind of that space cloud effect that you see sometimes. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna take my same spray bottle thing, and I'm just gonna add a little bit more darkness. Darkness. In a few different spots, kind of through here, and around here. of spray stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to work on building up my horizon. Because I want to turn this into a scene. So I'll take a little bit of that. And just, whoops. That's a lot more of that than I was expecting. And I want to just barely take that across there. Then I'm going to take my blur tool, I'm going to use fingertip. Just kind of smear that all the way across there. Nah, I don't like that. Don't like that at all. Is that really all there is to doing a night sky? Guess we'll paint in a few stars by hand. Sort of constellation-y one. Interesting. Interesting. Well, I guess I'll be trying this technique on another. Let's see, so if I made that as a starry sky, and this is purples and blues and spray brush things, and then, yeah, might be able to actually just paint right on top to try and do the thing I've been working on all week. That seems way simpler than I was making it. I was trying to figure out how to do like alpha layers and all kinds of crazy stuff, but if that's all there is to it, then I guess that's easy. Alright, so let's move on to something else. Something fun. Let's just sketch some stuff. Boom. Oh. Honestly, I just took a watercolor brush, I put some blues and some purples and some blacks on there, and then I took a, in the program it has a spray paint, sort of thing that you can do, and I just made the spray droplets as small as possible. I layered it on in a few spots, and then I did some of the stars by hand. That's about it. It was not as difficult as I thought it would be to make a night sky. Or well, to make stars, I guess. When you get down to it, if you have like the moon out, then that changes things a little bit. Because I can, if I were to, that could be a fun challenge. Let's try that. If I'm gonna make the stars kind of fade out, because the moon does tend to make the stars less visible. It's also much, much brighter in general. That's a little too bright, I think, though. Yeah, that's definitely too bright. So let's go tonal correction. And we'll turn down the brightness of that sky to about there. That looks good. And the moon generally has this like halo kind of thing around it. And the light hitting clouds and stuff, that's kind of what causes all of the stars nearby to not be as visible as they could be. Let's make the moon bigger. And then I'm going to take my transparency brush and I'm going to just kind of eat into this until it calms down a little bit. Oh, that's eating into our moon here. Yeah, kind of like that. And then let's add some clouds. That'll be fun. So clouds are going to be mostly black, kind of amorphous shapes. But then we get to layer a bunch of lights on top of them. Sorry for the sneezes. Today, folks. Ooh, my allergies are a little rough today, apparently. But anyway, at night, all the clouds you're going to see are mostly going to be black against the night sky. And then they're going to take other colors into them. So we're going to end up with this lighter blue color, and then just a straight up white. And those, of course, are going to be facing towards the moon. And I'm just going to smear these around kind of until I get my shape. That I want. And then I'm going to take my pencil tool. Ooh, that's a little harsh. I don't think we're there yet. Looks like it needs a little bit more layering. Should put some more blue in there. Because everything gets super blue shifted at night. If you haven't noticed. It also gets really desaturated, but also, you know, blue. Eh, it's a cloud. Looks like a cloud. Looks like a cloud, but it doesn't look wispy enough. I feel like I've never quite been able to capture exactly just the sort of etherealness of clouds. So I'm just going to kind of smear it around a little bit, see what I can come up with. Because my cloud looks too, like, round and shaped and perfect. It doesn't look cloudy enough. We don't want our clouds to look sculpted, right? Right. I mean, unless they are sculpted, in which case you do kind of want your clouds to look sculpted, I guess. Maybe I pushed that one too far. Let's back it up. That's fine. That sort of looks like a cloud. That I'm mostly happy with. Whew. Also needs to be a little bit closer to the moon the way I lit it, I think. Oops. That is on the same layer. So let's grab that. Let's move it in a little bit closer. And then I gotta blend this stuff now. I am not an environment or landscape artist, really. I know I have a few things up on my my website where I worked on environment concepts, but it's not something that I work at regularly. So this is definitely an exercise for me. Which is good. It's always good to challenge yourself, right? Challenge everything. Let's see. Ugh, man. So sniffly. I actually want to make even more clouds out this way. Just make clouds on this whole side here. Just a bunch of clouds. Okay, I'm going to take my blue. We're going to build in some shadow. And then we're going to take my black. And we're just going to build in some more shadow. Do a little bit of texturing. Take black. Okay, and now we're going to take our smudging tool that I've been using all day now. Well, all stream now. I say all day when I just don't necessarily mean all day. Just kind of comes out that way. Gotta give it that as much of a fluffy, ethereal feel as I can. Actually, I like that a lot more than this. Oh. Yeah, we're just gonna take you out of the picture. And we're gonna smudge you out some more. Uh-oh. Huh. Why is that doing that? Huh. That's weird. Well, I guess I'll have to paint it in some in that case. Because you were watercolor. There we go. Now let's try smudging this. Yeah, now you smudge. Now you smudge real good. Welcome back. I'm trying. What could disturb this piece of art, I know? I'm sorry, I got real in the zone here. Tell me, what could disturb it? Oh my gosh. Well, I gotta draw some Uganda knuckles then, obviously. I know Dewey. Do you know Dewey? Boop, boop. Anyway, that's kind of the effect you get from when the moon's out. You get to see fewer of the stars directly around the moon, but you still get to see some stars and stuff. It's just it changes the way the light travels to Earth and everything. Especially closer to the moon, because the light of those stars is actually like behind the moon, so it doesn't end up reaching us. And then the other thing that happens is, of course, the ground gets lit up more. Ooh, that's too much. Nope, we're gonna watercolor that. I'm like, we'll oil paint it. Nope. Will not. Just kind of whatever's under there ends up getting blue shifted and stuff. I didn't really figure that part out, but that's okay. I was just focusing on the sky in this one. So, there we go. And now, of course, we gotta sketch a meme. I do know how to draw Snorlax. Kind of. I know the general shape of him and everything, so... I know it's not quite a Ugandan Knuckles, but it's pretty close. They have such ugly faces. Okay, anyway, that's enough of that. Whoop. Wait, no. Put that in that folder. Whoop. Up here. Up here. There we go. And let's draw Snorlax. For the next couple minutes here we got going on. We'll have have Knuckles watching there in the corner. Actually, let's flip him so that you guys can see it better. Because I know my face is in this side of the screen. Just move him right over there. Okay, let's sketch a Snorlax. So Snorlax is pretty simple. You get a nice blue-gray tone, kind of somewhere in that neighborhood. Let's see. That neighborhood. Yeah, close. How's that? That's better. Okay. And Snorlax is basically think of like a beanbag chair, right? Kind of. He's very much this shape here. That's the basic Snorlax shape. It's like a bun. He's like a bun. And then his head is kind of the same shape, but a little bit smaller, and it also like bends around his body a little bit. Right? And then his arms are kind of also these big meaty circle shapes. Round shapes. You gotta make sure he still has shoulders, so you still gotta attach it to the shoulders, you know, at the shoulders, right? But then he's got these big old meaty arms that are just ridiculous. And then his feet are down here, and basically also this sort of bun color or bun shape. This, you know, he's just a bunch of like ovals kind of stacked on top of each other. And so then you color it in. Except for his feet, because they're a different color. And of course give him his little pointy cat ears. Right? And that is definitely a Snorlax like silhouette. So from there, we take a skin tone, which for him is sort of this light peachish color, right? Pretty sure. Let's bring in a reference. Oh, it's actually almost like a white yellow. Interesting. Okay. So, my bad. More like, yes, very much in that territory. And his face is actually shaped a little specifically. Oops. What did I just do? That was weird. Okay, come back in here. Back in my window. There we go. Okay, his face actually does have a little V thing into it. Like that. This is not the way of Satan. No. No, not quite. I'm drawing a nice Snorlax. Gonna make sure I save room for the claw. And it just goes like all the way down his body, this like whitish yellowish deal, right? And then also his feet. And then we're actually going to go back to the dark color to do his facial details because I don't want to use black. And we put a line here and a line here. His mouth is actually a lot bigger than that. Mr. Snorlax. And he's got these cute little teeth. I want to make sure I get the cute little teeth. Right, little smile there. And then he's got the cute little teeth. And he's got, what, three fingers and toes? Oh, he's actually got all 5 fingers and 3 toes. Neat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a thumb. His little claws. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and a thumb. And those are kind of in the middle of his hand, kind of. And then I'm going to go back to the dark blue to outline them a little bit, because they are just a bit hard to see. There we go. And then, because we're not quite done, there's a lighter blue. And this is the part where we add in kind of like lighting kind of stuff, right? Because over the years, they've actually lightened him up significantly. To the point where the toy, at least, is just sort of a blue color. But I remember back in the day when he was just this dark blue. I really liked it. Little ears. Oop. It's not lit properly for that. But if you guys want a screenshot, you know, go for it, I guess. Excuse me. I was gonna draw him like reaching for a fruit or something, but I don't know. He's just kind of Snorlaxing. Just Snorlaxing out there. I forgot to draw his bottom feet. Toes. And there you go. Kind of a quickie Snorlax, but it's a Snorlax. Then, of course, if I do want to get fancy, I can do some lighting effects and stuff, which could be fun. Let's do it. So, nighttime is actually lit pretty interestingly. It's lit in blue, but you do like what I do is I do a multiply layer. For those of you who have the software to do so, I do a multiply layer in a really like bright blue for the shadows, and then I'll desaturate this later. And fade this out quite a bit. And then, of course, Snorlax has a big belly, so he does not get to see his feet very often. Give his head a nice roundness to it as well. And then since he's got his arm there, got to make sure that there's a shadow kind of underneath that as well. And he's doing sort of a paw gesture, he's waving. He's trying to ask Uganda Knuckles for some directions, because he does not know the way. Offensive internet memes, ladies and gentlemen. I actually don't know. I haven't heard if Ugandans are actually offended by that. But if I were Ugandan, I would imagine I would be. By the Uganda Knuckles. Anyway, so we got that all nice and done. And then I'm going to go in here and we're going to... Oops, nope. Into tonal corrections. And we're going to desaturate this just a tad. About, I think, a -20 should be fine. And then my numlock isn't turned on, that's why that's not working. There we go. So that's one layer of lighting, and then I will take a lighter blue, and then this will just cover the whole thing. And do an overlay. And we'll make that about 25. And this will also help to desaturate it, right? I may need to bring that shadow up some more. There we go. Let's bump it to about there. And then I'm gonna take the next one, and this is actually gonna be an overlay layer instead of a multiply. I'm gonna do another overlay, and this one's gonna be really, really bright. Ooh, no, we want it to be more white than that. There we go. And then this is the lightest part. And of course, since his big old belly is big, it's going to catch a lot of light as well. And then if I were to actually take this and make it part of the scene, I'd take all this stuff, take a transform, and we'll put him right back there. And then I gotta play around with his layers a little bit to make him just a little less noticeable. Or just a little bit less standout-ish. Make him glow. Ooh. No. Just about there. And I think probably there. Give him a little bit of highlight too. Just a little bit of like backlighting. Ugh. Ugh, awful. Awful sneezes. There we go. Little Moonlight Snorlax. I'd probably add, you know, more scene in there, obviously. But, yeah. And I don't think he's lit quite to the same way the cloud is, to be honest. I'd have to spend a lot more time syncing everything up. But with the Knuckles in there giving directions, it's, you know. Anyway, that is my time for today, guys. Let me bump up this Snorlax real quick so you can get a. We'll bump him back up so you can get a nice screenshot or whatever you want to do. Oh, that's not quite right. There we go. That's a good size. Sometimes resizing things doesn't always work out like you want it to. But anyway. So I'm allergic to cats, and I have 2 of them, which is, on the one hand, poor life decisions, and on the other, I love animals, and they're my babies, and you can't take them away from me, so, but I'm allergic to cats, dogs, grass, horses, and mold, and I grew up with all of those things, so I'm kind of used to it. So it's just something I gotta live with. It's why I generally don't want to do my videos until later on in the day, because that's when my allergies kind of calm down a little bit after I've been awake for a while. But I got stuff going on later today, so that wasn't really an option today. Besides, I kind of like doing Sunday Sketch in the morning. Yeah, no, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. And I just spent most of the day yesterday in a house with 2 big dogs and a cat. So it's probably why my allergies are flaring up a bit. I am planning on seeing that you can take like allergy shots and stuff, so I'm planning on getting some stronger allergy medication eventually, but the over-the-counter stuff just doesn't do it for me. Anyway, that is my time for today. Like I said, I got some other stuff I got to do today. Hope you all enjoyed. I had fun. It was a little challenging painting that cloud for sure. And who knows? Maybe we'll do more Knuckles next time. We'll see. The meme may be dead by then. But I will be back next week for some. Anyway, I will be back next week for some more games and more art stuff. And until then, goodbye, friends.